How could I have known I was writing an origin story? Mass shootings didn't start at Columbine High School, but the mass shooter era did. The killer's audacious plan and misread motives multiplied the stakes and inspired wave after wave of emulation. I've tried to leave this story so many times, but the diagram torments me, ruthlessly expanding like an unstoppable spiderweb, devouring all the lives and futures in its path. It demands we address the cause. More than 50 ensuing shooters have taken nearly 300 lives and wounded over 500 more. And every shooter on that page left evidence they were inspired or influenced by the attack at the center. And a 2015 investigation of Columbine copycats by Mother Jones found more than 2 thwarted attacks for each one that succeeded. It identified 14 plotters targeting the April 20th anniversary and 13 striving to top Columbine's body count. Surviving mass shooters have admitted they are now competing with each other. 25 years later, Columbine haunts our present and our future with no end in sight. The connections keep multiplying, and all roads lead back to Columbine. For example, the Arapahoe High gunman studied the Columbine and Sandy Hook attacks. The Sandy Hook shooter researched the Northern Illinois University shooting and was obsessed with Columbine. The Northern Illinois killer studied Columbine and Virginia Tech, where the shooter described wanting to, quote, repeat Columbine and idolized its, quote, martyrs. 5 generations of fallout, and they're all reenacting the legend that set it in motion. The legend of Columbine is fiction. One of the working titles for this book had been The Other Columbine, because there are 2 versions of the attack. What actually happened on April 20th, and the story we all accepted in 1999. The mythical version explained it all so cleanly. A pair of outcast loners from the Trenchcoat Mafia targeted the jocks to avenge years of bullying. Supervisory Special Agent Dwayne Fuselier, who led the FBI's Columbine investigation, is fond of quoting H.L. Mencken in response. Quote, "For every complex problem, there is an answer that is clear, simple, and wrong." Fuselier warned how appealing the myth might sound to social misfits, but he could not foresee the power of social media 5 years before Facebook was born. Decades later, a perverse fandom has recast the Columbine killers as champions of the nobodies. Eric Harris ridiculed the nobodies. Neither he nor Dylan Klebold were loners, misfits, or outcasts. They were not in the Trenchcoat Mafia, they were not Nazis or white supremacists, and they did not plan the attack for Hitler's birthday. An ammunition problem delayed it a day. So much of the legend hinges on bullying, but the killers never even mentioned it in the vast trove of journals, web posts, and videos they left to explain themselves. They both did enjoy violent movies, industrial music, and video games, but there's no evidence any of that played a role. They did not target jocks, Christians, or African Americans. They targeted no one. They shot randomly and designed their bombs to kill indiscriminately. They mocked earlier school shooters and would have been horrified to find their attack immortalized as a mere shooting. That was supposed to be the, quote, fun part. But the bombs were the main event. Hundreds dying in the burning wreckage before the first shot. The bombs failed. Yet the legend made them heroic to their progeny and gave birth to a sprawling fandom. By the 10th anniversary, I was encountering a small band of, quote, Columbiners online. They soon gravitated to a new name, quote, True Crime Community, or TCC, to include more mass killers, but Eric and Dylan remain the megastars.